So let's use example 1. We're going to do several examples of this type of question so we can practice all different scenarios of your A, B, C, D values, etc. So as I look here, the first thing I actually look at is maybe not the order you would normally think, but I'm actually going to look at where the median is first because that's like a new x-axis. So I actually look at this first. I'm going to kind of number them. So I look at the D value. It's not that I'm really doing the vertical shift first, but it's going to help me on my scale. So this is going to be up 1. So I'm going to make sure my median's up 1. Now, before I just assume I want to use 1 here, I look at the amplitude as well. And the amplitude is 2. So I'd kind of go off my page too far. So I'm going to choose again to adjust my y-axis and add some other tick marks here. So that means that this is really going to be 1. And then an amplitude of 2 would put me to 3. An amplitude of 2, so when you count 1, 2 from that 1 is -2. Now, all my points have to go on this max, median, or min. So what I like to do then is since I've kind of moved things around, is I kind of put in a new grid line and I label them because I don't want anyone to think they're something other than they are with these dashed lines. So this is my max, my median, and my min. And then I remember that I can only put points on dashed lines now that I'm putting everything together. So I find that helpful. All right. Before I can actually start graphing, I also need an x-axis scale. So I look at the B value. It looks like there isn't one, but remember that means the B value is really 1. So the period is 2 pi divided by the B value, or 2 pi, which is our regular width. Remember that means, and if we forget, we're so used to taking our period divided by 4, they are pi by 2 apart. So it's the scale we first learned and that we're used to. So you maybe didn't need to think that through as much. But since we've kind of tied all of this information together, I wanted to write that out for you as well. So I'm putting in my scale, counting every 2 squares is pi by 2. I'm going to do the same over here. And there we go. All right, so now I'm going to start graphing this. I need to find my starting point. So this is the first time we've had a shift. This, because it's plus, remember it looks like the opposite sign because of the negative sign in there, is left pi by 2. So I actually need to go left pi by 2. And remember, I'm going to start at the origin typically. So now this is why I like to kind of use this little analogy. It's not the origin. Your points have to be on here. So it's left pi by 2, but it normally starts at security. So it's the median. So sine always starts at the median. So this is my first point. I like to label more for us in the notes. You don't have to necessarily do this, but I find it really helpful when you're studying too, is label my start point. So left pi by 2, there's no reflection, so it's positive sign, I say. So it goes here. I need to go up. Pi by 2 apart is every 2 squares. So I'm going to go up to the max. So every 2 squares, I'm going, remember, through the median, through the min, through the median. If you want to add this one here, through the max. And looks like so. Same thing here, like this. Okay, so that's how you're going to add your transformations. Now, I realize it might seem like you're doing them out of order. We're just using a different strategy. Technically, mathematically, you're still doing stretches and whatnot first, but instead, we're using these shifts in the amplitude to put guidelines of max, median, and min. So that's the strategy we're going to use moving forward. So we're going to do several more examples so you can see how this works.